Today I'm going to talk about the geography of Antarctica. It's an interesting place, partly because so few people visit it. It's very large, it's very different from anywhere else in the world, and at the moment it's a very popular place for scientists to conduct experiments because the quality of the air is very clean. I'd like to give an overview of my presentation. First, I'm going to talk about location, where Antarctica is situated. Next, I'm going to talk about the area, the size of Antarctica. After that, I'm going to talk about the surface ice sheet. It's covered in a surface sheet of ice, and I'm going to talk about the characteristics of that ice. After that, I'm going to talk about the topography of Antarctica, the shape of the land. Is it mountainous or is it flat? Finally, I'm going to talk about unusual features. And at the end of my presentation, if you would like to ask any questions, I would be happy to answer them. First of all, location. Antarctica is located at the bottom of the world, if you like. The Arctic is at the top and Antarctica is at the bottom. If you look at the slide, the South Pole is on Antarctica, but it isn't at the centre of the landmass. Antarctica is very isolated. The nearest country is Argentina over to the west, and that's 1,000 kilometres away to the west. The nearest country after that is New Zealand to the south, and Australia after that. Then to the north, the nearest country is South Africa. There are also a number of islands around the Antarctica landmass, and in all, Antarctica covers an area of 14 million square kilometres. It's considered to be a continent, and it's the fifth largest continent after Africa, Asia, South and North America, which means that it's bigger than Europe. Next, I'm going to talk about the surface ice sheet. Most of the land is covered by a thick layer of ice. In fact, 98% of the land is covered in ice. The average thickness of this ice is 1.6 kilometres, but in some places it can be as thick as 4 kilometres. The thickness of the ice varies over time. This is a lot of ice. 90% of the world's ice is in Antarctica, and 70% of the world's fresh water. By that I mean not seawater, salty water, I mean the kind of water that is in rivers and lakes. It has been estimated that if all this ice were to melt, the level of the sea would go up by 60 metres, which would mean that a lot of areas of land were then flooded. As you can see from the other photo on the slide, not all of Antarctica is covered in ice. This photo shows the dry valleys in eastern Antarctica, where there is low humidity and strong winds evaporate any moisture. Next, I'll talk about the topography of Antarctica, the shape and surface of the land. Antarctica is divided in two by a mountain range called the Transantarctic Mountains. In East Antarctica, the ice sheet rests on a major landmass, but in West Antarctica, the ice is more than 2,500 metres below sea level, which means that if the ice sheet was not there, that area would be underwater. That's the lowest point of Antarctica. The highest point is Vincent Massif in eastern Antarctica, which is nearly 5,000 metres high, and you can see the mountain on the slide. Antarctica has some unusual features, and I'd like to talk about three of them. The first of these are active volcanoes. What you can see in the picture is Mount Erebus, which is near McMurdo Base in the southwest. and this is an active volcano. Another unusual feature is a fumarole, and this is a kind of chimney where steam and other gases from the volcano make caves under the ice. As the steam hits the cold air, it condenses and forms a kind of chimney of ice, as you can see in the photograph. The last of these unusual features are underwater lakes. There are a number of lakes which are actually underneath the ice, and this slide shows a diagram of Lake Vostok, which is 4,000 meters beneath the ice. Scientists have drilled through the ice to within 100 meters of the lake and have found samples which suggest that there are forms of life under the ice in the lake. If there are life forms there, they have been sealed into the ice for 100,000 years. Thank you. That's the end of my presentation. If you would like to ask any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.